excuse me, cut number 13 and then cut number 14, you will recognize both of these individuals and you'll recognize where they are, and you'll probably be repulsed at what they say, but I want to hear your comments. 13 and then 14.
You're fighting our fight, the independence and freedom of people around the world, including the United States, but we want the American people to appreciate the value of this alliance.
So 2.5 years later, you're still standing and you're in Russia. Remind me not to invade Ukraine. I'm so proud of you, your people, your military, your leadership, your country. You're under siege, unlike anything I've seen in my lifetime. They were predicting in Washington that Kyiv would fall in 4 days, the whole country would fall in 3 weeks. Well, they were wrong.
That's the thinking of a liberal Democrat, Richard Blumenthal from Connecticut, and a conservative Republican, Lindsey Graham, from South Carolina. I was kind of appalled at Senator Blumenthal saying to President Zelensky, "You're fighting our fight." Of course, this is what we have argued going back to Victoria Nuland. The U.S. government and the neocon mentality want to use Ukraine as a battering ram with which to drive Vladimir Putin from office. They still think they can do it.
Well, I'm not sure they think they can do it anymore, but this was a very expensive way to create the illusion or further reinforce the illusion that there's something left in Ukraine. Again, the only people that seem to be concerned about the plight of Ukrainians on the ground in Ukraine at this stage seem to be Russians. And I say that in all sincerity, because if we cared at all what happened to the Ukrainians, we would have halted this bloodbath a long time ago. As far as Blumenthal and Graham are concerned, I think this is a wonderful display of why the Republican versus Democratic labels don't really matter very much. These are prominent members of the so-called Uniparty. And the Uniparty has two wings. You have the Graham wing and you have the Blumenthal wing. They may differ on issues of domestic policy, although I don't see a whole lot of evidence that Graham is at all concerned about immigration, let alone Blumenthal, obviously. He probably welcomes it as a way to destroy his political opponents that he sees on the right. But the Uniparty is completely divorced from the American people. A friend of mine says all the time, we've got taxation without representation in all 50 states. I think he just saw evidence for it, because no one in their right mind in the United States wants to be drawn into a war with Russia. Yet we continue to press this issue ostensibly with the hope that we will confront the Russians at some point. It seems insane, but I get that impression.
Let me switch gears.